What industry could benefit most from enterprise ChatGPT?
What industry could benefit most from enterprise ChatGPT? Here is the trap, and here is the win. The trap is surveying 5 industries and never landing anywhere. The win is picking one and defending it with data gravity and hard ROI. The answer that works names its criteria first, scores a shortlist against them, then commits to a single best fit and holds the line. This question is not really about the industry. It tests whether you can define good selection criteria and then commit under pressure rather than hedge. By the end of this, you will be able to state 3 criteria, score 4 industries against them, pick one, quantify the ROI in the buyer's own units, and name the blocker that actually decides adoption. Start by framing the decision, because most benefit is meaningless until you define it. The best industry is the one where 3 things line up. First, a high volume of unstructured text, which is data gravity. Second, a high cost for the labor doing that text work, which gives you ROI headroom. Third, a workflow where an assistant can plug in without a multi-year integration project. State those 3 criteria out loud before you name any industry, because that reasoning is exactly what the interviewer is scoring. The industry is almost secondary. The logic is the point. Now, lay out a shortlist and score it against those criteria. Legal first. Enormous document volume in contracts, case law, and discovery. Very high billable rate, say 250 to 600 pounds per associate hour. And text is the entire job, not a side task. Data gravity is high, ROI is high. The blocker is that accuracy and confidentiality are non-negotiable. A hallucinated citation is not just a bad user experience, it is a malpractice risk. Second, healthcare. Huge text volume in notes, prior authorizations, and literature, plus high labor costs and clear ROI on the admin side. The blocker here is heavy regulation, hyper in the US, clinical safety liability, and painfully slow procurement. Third, financial services, research, compliance, client communications, and high salaries. The blocker involves strict audit and explainability rules on every output. Fourth, software engineering. Code is text, developers are expensive, and adoption is already fast. But the blocker there is that it is less of a pure ChatGPT play and more a job for a specialized coding tool. So we have 4 candidates, each scored on the same 3 criteria, and the blockers are visible. Then recommend and commit, because this is where average candidates go soft. For enterprise ChatGPT specifically, I would recommend legal, and I would be ready to defend it against healthcare, the runner-up. Legal has the deepest data gravity in pure text. It has the highest per hour cost to displace. And its workflow of drafting, reviewing, summarizing, and searching precedent maps almost exactly onto what the assistant already does out of the box. On top of that, the billable hour model means even a 20% time saving becomes a large, measurable number the buyer already tracks on a dashboard. Healthcare has the volume, but the regulatory drag and clinical liability slow adoption by years, so legal wins on speed to value. Now, name the risks and the moat. The first risk is accuracy. A wrong answer in law is liability, full stop, so you must ground every answer in cited source documents and refuse when there is no source to cite. The second risk is confidentiality and privilege, which means you need workspace data isolation and a firm guarantee that you will not train on their data. Notice that this is exactly what the enterprise tier is built to promise. Now for the moat. It is not the model, because any firm can call the same API. It is the trust layer, meaning audit logs, citations, data residency, and the accumulated integration into the firm's own document systems. Once that is embedded in how the firm works, switching costs climb, and a rival cannot just undercut you on price. Let me make it real. A firm with 500 lawyers rolls out enterprise ChatGPT connected to its document management system. Associates use it to summarize 80-page agreements, surface the 3 non-standard clauses that need a human eye, and draft first-pass memos grounded in the firm's own precedent library, with every claim linked back to a source paragraph. Now for the maths. Say it saves each associate 6 hours a week at a £500 billable rate. That is £3,000 of recovered capacity per associate per week. Across 300 associates, that is a number the managing partner can drop straight into a board deck, and it is in a unit the firm already measures. The rule of no source means no answer, which is what makes it safe enough to deploy in the first place. And the deep integration into their document store is what makes it painful to rip out a year later. Here is the tell that this is the right pick. The ROI is already denominated in the buyer's own currency of billable hours, so you are not asking them to believe a new metric. The obvious follow-up is asking why not healthcare, since the market is larger. Have the answer ready, because that is the runner-up and they know it. Healthcare has the volume and labor cost, but its ROI is throttled by 2 things legal does not face at the same intensity. First, procurement and compliance cycles run 18 to 24 months before a single seat goes live, so your time to value is measured in years, not quarters. Second, clinical liability, where a wrong summary can touch patient safety directly, which pushes the whole deployment into a slower and heavier regulatory lane. Legal has liability too, but it is contained to the firm and its client. The billable hour model gives you an ROI number the buyer already trusts, so adoption moves faster. That speed to value is why legal wins, even though healthcare is the larger prize on paper. Then, they will test your buyer understanding, so name the economic buyer explicitly. In a law firm, it is the managing partner or the head of knowledge management, and their whole world is realization rates and billable capacity, so you pitch in exactly those units. The sharpest follow-up is about the accuracy blocker, asking how this is safe enough to sell if one hallucinated citation is a malpractice risk. The answer is that you do not sell open-ended generation into law, you sell grounded retrieval. Every claim links to a source paragraph in the firm's own documents, the system refuses when it cannot cite, and a human still signs the final work product. That turns the tool from a risky oracle into a fast research assistant, and that distinction is the entire reason it is deployable. Here is what makes them lean in. First, you define the selection criteria of data gravity, ROI headroom, and integratability before you named a single industry. That is the reasoning they came for. Second, you committed to one and defended it against the runner-up instead of hedging across 5. Third, you quantified the ROI in the buyer's own units and named the real blocker of liability with a concrete mitigation. That combination reads as someone who has actually sold into an enterprise, not someone just brainstorming. Now for the traps. The first is listing every industry that could benefit and never committing to one, which is the exact failure the question is designed to expose. The second is picking a flashy sector with no real data gravity and no clear ROI number, so you cannot back it when they push. The third is ignoring the blocker, meaning the accuracy, the regulation, and the confidentiality that actually decide whether anyone adopts it. Name the blocker before they do. So let us assemble it. Define the criteria first, which are text data gravity, labor cost headroom, and a workflow you can plug into. Score a short list of legal, healthcare, finance, and engineering against them. Commit to legal and defend it against healthcare. Quantify the ROI in billable hours and mitigate the accuracy blocker with cited grounding that refuses to answer without a source. The one line to carry into the room is that the best industry is the one with the deepest text, the highest cost labor, and a workflow you can plug straight into. And for enterprise ChatGPT, that is